Okay, welcome to the first book signing event for the second edition of our Perfect at Last series. And before we begin, I would like to please ask everyone to kindly stand as we offer a short prayer.
Una-una tayo. Kaya bago sa program ba kayo?
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who sin against us. Do not bring us to test, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Once again, welcome to the book signing of A Perfect at Last second rendition series. Now, as this is a book signing, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. You may not take your seat. Welcome to the book signing event of the
Official host.
Now, as it is a
Dali-dali
meet and
una,
greet,
pero
you may already be knowing or you might be wondering as who we are meeting. Of course, it's your hero, you know who she is. But let us give a short summary of who we're meeting. So, as a career, she is an ENT and also a facial plastic surgeon. She's an advocate for root cause medicine, the NLCD founder, and also, lastly, she is a mother. Please give a round of applause for our very own dietitian, Dr. Josephine Grace Lam.
Hello. Thank you. Yes. Open na. Hello, everyone. Mic test. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Parang ano lang, no? Naka-live lang tayo. Pero this time, we are already seeing ourselves face to face. Thank you so much, Bibi, for that very warm introduction. Introducing to you our very handsome host, my brother-in-law, Neil Jan. So maraming salamat po for coming, especially to all of you who really went all the way to come here for this event. I missed all of your faces. Marami pa rin familiar faces and the faces that we really love in our community. So thank you, especially our merchants, our partners in this event. So we have Theo Broma. Hello, sir. We also have, of course, Shapes Keto Cakes. We have Gabri's, Naturals. Hi. And of course, Perfect Match and Keto Mojo. At marami pa rin pumunta, hindi lang sila makapunta, but they sent their regards and they sent something for you, like Cafe Viva. And also, we have Lorene MCT Oil. So, thank you so much. I will sit muna.
Okay, now to get things started, we do have 3 books, Doc Grace. So, we have a bit of a question for the first book as to why you wrote it and why people should read it.
Thank you, Bibi. So, as you all know, our books are a series of 3. So, Perfect at Last Weight, Perfect at Last Health, and Perfect at Last Wellness. So, this is already the second edition of those books because in 2019, and in 2020, we published the first edition of the books. And I believe a lot of you actually read the first editions. Yes, thank you so much, Ma'am Feli, for agreeing. And I know you know how valuable it is. But to answer your question, the first book, its title before is Perfect at Last Weight, an Evolutionary Perspectives Guide in Attaining an Ideal Body Weight the Fastest, Most Natural Way. Now, for the second edition, we edited it into an Evolutionary Perspectives Guide in Attaining Optimum Weight. So, not the ideal word can be interpreted differently. So, the optimum weight and also for healing, because actually the first book is more on fasting, how to fast right, what to prepare before you fast, and most importantly, the most important part of fasting is actually how to break your fast properly, because the dangers of fasting is actually not during fasting per se, but majority of the mishaps that happen, usually they happen on how they break it the wrong way. So, Perfect at Last Weight, the book 1, will guide you on how to fast properly, not just for weight loss, but most importantly for healing. So it's really the healing that we are after. I actually wrote this book as having weight on the cover because I realized a lot of people are really concerned about weight loss. But I tell my family and friends that the title of the book is actually just like a bait. It's not really just about weight loss. Because before we became a big community as we are now, fasting before was a taboo. Do you agree? Before, fasting was just heard when it is connected with religious practices. But for health reasons, no. It's something that is being frowned upon, or people are afraid to fast. So the book is actually just a bait for them to read it, for them to get to be interested. But eventually, my goal for them, for the readers, is to appreciate how fasting is really amazing, how it can do miraculous things. It is in the Bible because it can do wonders. And it is a gift for me. I considered fasting as a gift. It's free, no preparation needed, no money needed for you to fast, right? As long as you know how. But the benefits that you can reap, it's never been founded before when it comes to popular kind of healing. Before, if we have flu, if you have illness, you really have to sit it out 5 days, 7 days, and then you really have to wait or take medicine just to heal. A lot of low carbers now, the moment they feel like under the weather, all they need to do is just fast, and the morning after, they're already good to go. And I know many can attest to that miracle that fasting can really do so many things. And if ever there's one thing that I want people to have a takeaway when reading about Book 1, Perfect at Last, Wait, the protocol for fasting, it is for them to realize that it's actually better for us to plan our fast than plan our meal times. Because meal times food, it will always be there. But for us to get a better health, it is really better for us to really incorporate consciously, mindfully incorporate fasting. So minimum 12 hours circadian fasting, that can already be a very, very good start. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that holistic answer, Dr. Grace. Now moving on to your second book, which is titled as Health. Again, why did you write it and why should people read it?
Thank you. So the second book, I realized I placed it as a second series, second part of the trilogy, because I realized that as much as fasting is natural for us humans, as much as fasting is really somewhat generally easy, especially if you get the hang of it, I still realize that not everybody can fast. I think the coaches here can really agree to that. And true enough, not everybody is required to fast, especially longer fast. And there will come a point that you cannot just fast based on your specific situation. Like say, for example, you're already below your BMI, you're already not having any more allowance to have any fat loss, especially muscle loss, right? Times like pregnancy or breastfeeding or children who are growing. So those special populations cannot really fast. But what they can do though is they can continue to eat. So the second book, Perfect at Last Health, its subtitle would be Eat to Heal. And if you can see the cover, it's like a prescription pad. And instead of medicine that's being prescribed, what we are somewhat prescribing are actually just food. Which foods can you eat that you can still heal? And I think the best part of this somewhat dietary prescription, you don't need to avoid meat. A lot are considering that the moment you have a dietary prescription, they thought it's already vegetarian, vegan, you need to forget all the red meat, goodbye lechong baka, goodbye, even others, fish and chicken, they're even minimizing their intake because they thought all meat are bad. But with book 2, you will be educated that you shouldn't be afraid of the real foods that you are craving, because those real foods are really the ones designed by our Creator for us to really nourish ourselves. So as you can see there's meat, there's eggs, there's avocado that people are afraid because they thought it's very high in fat. And yes, it's high in fat, but it's not necessarily bad. In fact, we can benefit from fats. Our body is designed to consume a lot of fats. That's why we have gallbladder. We have bile being stored in the gallbladder in order for us to digest and absorb the fats that we are about to eat. And meat, as you all know, is really essential, as you know now, is essential for our nourishment. So people, for me, especially the ones who are very skeptical about eating meat, should be the ones to really read book 2. Perfect at Last Health, Eat to Heal. It will enlighten you. It will enlighten you, and for us to go back to the way our ancestors really ate and thrived, how we got ourselves separated from the whole animal kingdom. We are at the apex, especially with our conversations with the moderators and admins of our Facebook group, Life Without Rice and Low Carb Feasting and Fasting Community, because it came to our attention that there was one, I think, popular person who said, we don't have sharp nails, we don't have fangs, that's why we are not designed to eat red meat. That's what they said. But if you encounter that kind of reasoning, you can always counter them by saying, we are at the apex. We are the apex predators. We are at the top of the food chain. And with that, we don't use our fangs. We don't use our nails. We use our mind. We use our brain to create tools, to create weapons. We don't need sharp nails and fangs just to eat meat. We can design fishing boats. We can design hunting tools. And we are very successful, and that's why we are here today. So I firmly stand that we are really omnivorous majority, mostly on the carnivore side when it comes to eating right. And of course, it's good that we are aware. And for those who are also believers, this book is also going to help you, especially for those influencers, to make your stand firmer. Especially, I know that a lot of you mommies, titas here, you have family members that are against low carb. Yeah, you have. Yes, especially the young ones, because they actually cannot see yet the importance of really improving their health until they need it. But these books can help you argue them, not really to counter them, but more on to educate them and to help them also, so that they can also reap the benefits that we got from this lifestyle. So that's why I wrote book 2, and that's why I think people should really read it.
Thank you for that, Doc Grace. And now on to your third and final book of the trilogy, Wellness. The question will be, what's the difference between your second book, Health, and Wellness? And why should people read it?
Thank you. So it's the third book already. So it's Perfect at Last series, Weight, Health, and Wellness. So the first 2 books are mostly tackling on the physical aspect of improvement. The first one tackles weight, which is mostly physical appearance. So it's mostly on the physical aspect. And of course, we know now that fasting is for healing. The second book is a little deeper. So it's already on our health. So not just what we can see on the outside, but what we can really feel from the inside and the condition of our organs. So we know that book 2 is also mostly physical. And book 3, we know, I wrote this because amongst the many stresses people face, a lot of this, if not all of this, is actually just psychological or not mental. If not mental. Yes, you can be having problem on your physique, on your medical aspect, on your health, but did you know that all of those are just products of our mind? And if we keep our mind healthy, if we make our brain healthy, our mind, our psyche, our psychology, then everything will also fall into place. It's the last book, but as what I always say, if you're not yet ready to fast or change your diet, book 3 first. Because actually the most important one that we need to heal is our mind first, before everything else, and it will just follow. So Perfect at Last Wellness, with a subtitle, Internal Calm Amidst External Chaos. It's for us to maintain calmness, mindfulness, and also having the right positive attitude no matter what situation are you in. So all kinds of problems that you can possibly think of, it's written there, and it will help you on how to counter them. So hopefully everybody can benefit from not just weight, health, but most importantly, our overall wellness. And even me, as what one friend said, sometimes the advice that we give is actually the advice that we want to give ourselves, but we just cannot accept that those are the advice that we need. So if I will think about that, about the books, all of these books are also my own reminder to myself on how to eat right, how to fast right, and most importantly, how to think right, how to deal with all of the stressors that we face on each and every day. So thank you so much for coming here, for believing in our books, and I hope you can become your own advocates in helping your loved ones get the benefits that you also reap from this lifestyle.
Thank you so much, Doc Grace, for informing us on why we should read the book. Now, I do believe that you have a surprise in store for us.
Yes, actually I have. But I will discuss it and I will tell you later after the book signing event.
Okay,
Right
so let's
after.
now move on to them.
Okay. I think we have Q&A if in case you have
Sorry,
questions.
yes, we do have a Q&A section. If anyone does have any questions, I will gladly go over to you and hand you the mic. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, if you have any questions, it's very much welcome. And for those who have read book 1 but haven't purchased book 2 yet or haven't read it yet, if you are wondering what are the differences or what are the updates, because it's almost like 5 years also, 5 years interval from the books since it was published. So for the book 1, there's actually a lot of very good updates. As you all know, before I didn't discuss much about dry fasting, but now dry fasting is incorporated in book 1, in Perfect at Last Health, Weight. And also, there's also an introduction of a protocol that I developed in order to heal. It's what we call DCR protocol. So it's dry fasting, clean fasting, and protein refeeding protocol. So its effect would like to mimic the effect of Phoenix protocol, and that is the 7 days dry fasting. Something that I did also way back in 2020. So I did dry fasting for 7 days, and then I transitioned into another 7 days of electrolytes and water fasting. So that's a total of 14 days of fasting of no food. And the benefits the benefits of dry fasting, they said, because it was first developed by Russians, can increase life from 15 to 25% more than your supposed life expectancy. But I understand it wasn't easy, and not everybody have the extra fats and the brain power to do it. So I developed a DCR protocol that would mimic the result of Phoenix protocol without going through the whole 7 days of dry fasting. Instead, it's going to be 7 cycles of 3 days. So that's at least 21 days, but it can be up to 24 days. If you work and you only have weekends, it will really accommodate those feasting and gathering with family and friends. You only do dry fasting during the day of Monday when we are almost very busy. And day 2, Tuesday, you can already consume water, electrolytes. By Tuesday nighttime, you can already have dinner. So it's like you're not missing anything. Wednesday, you can already eat whatever you want, mostly protein rich. You repeat that cycle for 7 cycles and you will reap a lot of benefits, and the inflammation will really go down. You can have laboratories taken to assess. When you get your laboratories, get it 2 weeks after, because immediately after, it will be problematic looking because your body is still in like hunting mode. Okay? But after 2 weeks, it will normalize and it will be so good that the markers of inflammations will go down. So book 1 is really a version 2.0 of how fasting should be. I remember before when I was writing it, during the first edition, I myself are afraid. What will my mentor say? What my senior doctors would tell me, recommending fasting to people. That's why before I didn't include much on dry fasting. But now with the research that's going on, many scientific evidence of how fasting can really do wonders, especially that it is a conscious and deliberate fasting. You're not forced to do it, otherwise it's already called starvation. Then you know that you can just cut it anytime you want. So mental wise, it's actually very empowering that you know you can break your fast anytime, but you choose not to. And because you can. And that's really something really good. So that's the difference when it comes to first and second edition of book one. And also for book two, we developed it even more, especially on the protein intake. I think the first edition wasn't so clear on the amount of protein that we should be taking, but in here it's also already very specified to avoid the many risk and others having consequences of very poor protein intake leading to muscle loss. But I think you've learned a lot. See, I think you're looking better. Those who have a problem before when it comes to too much weight loss, too much muscle loss, and now they're regaining. So hello everyone to all of you who came in. And yeah, I think we still have a lot of people coming in. And don't worry, we will publish this again, this talk, so that you won't miss on anything. And for book 3, of course, on wellness, it's more on improvement. So it's the bits and pieces of the things that I learned over time that I want to share with everyone. As what I said, it's like me being a friend. So, but since we don't have that luxury of time to spend time together every day, even our families, we don't have that much time that we have in order to see them face to face. So book 3 is actually about that. It's you having a friend on your hand. Okay, and feel free to ponder on it and think your own, and hopefully you can just get all the benefits from it. So yes, if you have any questions or anything you want, or anything you want to share, that's also very, very much welcome today. No questions? You're shy? I think just one brave soul would set everything into motion. No question? Just smiling? Yes, ma'am.
This is not really about the book, sorry. Is that okay?
Yes?
This is not really about the book.
Okay.
I'm talking about the low carb practitioners here in the Philippines. And
Yes.
as mentioned by Dr. Brian, we have Dr. Don Cobra,
Yes.
neurologist. I would just like to ask if we have another neurologist here in Manila.
Because right now we know certain practitioners who are applying it themselves, but they're not going on public yet. They're not going on public as to their practice and their belief also when it comes to low
So
carb.
I have a sister who has an epilepsy.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I'm trying to coach someone to tell her about low carb. Pero kasi di ba dapat may doctor na nag-advise.
Yes.
So I'm really, gusto ko neuro sana yung
I think Dr. Don can also accept online siguro. Kahit ano lang, kahit for just to start, and if you already have an idea. Yes. And even if epilepsy needs specialist, but you can just have a consultation directly with a neurologist, then maybe he can coordinate with low carb doctors that are available here on what to watch out for. Doctors do that. We term that as endorsement. We endorse patients whenever we give them to another doctor to take care, and we can just lay down the things that needs to be looked after because it can just be managed most likely. And
but the sad part though is, my sister now is in the heart center. Kasi dapat kasama ko siya ngayon. Pero good thing, kasi ang ganda ng mga markers niya lahat. Kasi naka-low carb na siya.
oh wow, how long?
But the sad part is, text ko siya, ano recommendation ng neuro mo dyan sa heart center? Low carb, low sodium, low fat. Sabi ko, ganun na kasi talaga. That's how it is pag hindi hindi siya naniniwala sa low carb. So parang nagko-call ka na siya kaagad.
Oo,
So
oo.
sabi ko may message namin si Dr.
Dr.
Dr. Don,
Don.
talagang wala rito sa Manila.
Sayang. Thank you. And when it comes to low carb naman, no, we understand that other doctors who are not yet informed about low carb are skeptical about it. In fact, I was also skeptical about it before. I was more into fasting before low carb before. And it was actually Maming who's been keep on telling me about keto because he loves watching a lot of videos. And before I was also skeptical. So it was actually her who opened up to me to read about it, to learn about it. And it's really wonderful. And what's nice when it comes to epilepsy, it's one of the most well-studied when it comes to application of low carb, especially keto. So a keto level of low carb, that's a very low carb. The carbohydrate restriction is very minimal. That's 0 to 5% only of your total needs in a day. And it's one of the most well-studied when it comes to its application, especially for intractable epilepsy. Epilepsy is no longer responding to medications, no longer responding even to surgeries. Okay. Okay, so thank you, ma'am, for sharing with that. We'll be praying for your sister-in-law. And don't worry, by the time she's home, the moment that she's under your care, she can just go back to low carb right after. Low carb bread na lang. Okay. So anything more? Or testimonials?
Any other questions or testimonies to share to Dr. Grace?
No more? Okay, come here, Ma'am Eng Eng. What's your, the mic is there, so face our...
I just want to share my experience with low carb. I was diagnosed October 2021 that I have 5 cancers: hypertension, diabetic, high creatinine, fatty liver, and high triglyceride. And then the doctor gave me six different kinds of medicine. So by this, I bought only 60 pieces of medicine. Then by December, I will take na sa medicine. So my doctor told me na there's a low carb advocate with the name of Dr. Grace Rojo before. Then what is that? I just view the video. It's so tiresome. So by January 8, 2022, I started because week 1 in January, I keep on watching the video. So January 8, 2022, I start eliminate the rice. I eat the meat and eat the just know that after 2 days, all of a sudden I will just wake up because I feel lazy. Sometimes I feel fever, different kinds of
symptoms.
Different kinds of sickness I feel. Then I keep on doing it, and then by January 18, I have my so that's January 8, January 18. So I went into laboratory. So that's 10 days is a strict low carb. Then I just drink water with salt because I cannot do it putting salt and then drinking water. So I put the salt in the water and drink it. So January 18, I have my executive panel. So January 19, the result went out. Then January 20, I go back to my doctor, my family doctor, and then I told her that I'm in low carb. So I just, doc, here is the result of my examination. She told me, no, there's no need for you to take your maintenance. Is that true, doc? She is. That's my reaction, no? Then, so I do it lang with my low carb. Then by March, so nangangayat ng mga sakit ko. Sabi ng mga anak ko, Ma, what happened to you? You eat your rice now. I go, no. I just continue what I have done. So I just keep on watching the videos of Doctora. Then I told my children na, you do look good, you look good. I said, no, what happened to you? We don't want to happen it with us. So I just keep on doing it. And by after 3 months, glow na ang skin ko. And by September 8, 2022, we had
Meet and greet. Meet and greet in Cebu.
Then my problem is that sometimes mamuya,
Na umay.
maumay ako kumain din. And then sometimes I don't like the food. So sinabihan ko si Doc, Doc, what happened to my hair? It was losing na. Hindi siya nga, because you're not eating the right kind of protein and the amount. That's it. So nandun na, nakagar na ako. But because sometimes when I watch the video, I do not finish it. Because I have to think what other things I am trying to do. That's it. And then, but I keep on telling my friends na, you do look hard, you do look hard. So, it happens after a year, then, so parang na ang skin ko. Sabi nila, oh, parang na ka, parang gumanda ka. This is with low carb. My 5 illnesses was gone in just 10 days. So, because I do it rightly. Then, just last year, it's May 2022, that is Mother's Day, diba? May is Mother's Day. I went to the other city because I'm from Cebu. I went to Danao City with my classmates to have our union. Before going to Danao City, I ordered Masi because it's the delicacy in Cebu, no? If you know it, no? It is made of glutinous rice and peanuts and sugar. So I went to Danao City and ordered it. When I come back, I pick up my order. So when I'm driving, I just keep on eating because it's Mother's Day. Yeah. But all of a sudden, when I went home, I finished 20 pieces of it.
Oh my God. Masi is like mochi. It's like mochi, but with peanuts, crushed peanuts with sugar inside.
Yeah, that's it. So after 2 days, there's the culprit na I have a difficult in breathing. And that incident made me sick and made me went to the hospital because I almost died on the heart disease I encountered. So on that incident wake me up that for me there is no need for us to cheat because according to anything you have your bloodstreams is like a river. Then you throw kind of something
Garbage.
so it will go and it will
Clog.
flowing dirty na. So with that incident, because I almost lost my life, it's really the first thing is that I don't want to go to the hospital because I don't want to spend money. Then my two doctors told me, Ma, why don't you go to the hospital? You are insured. You have insurance, health insurance, and my other child has also insurance. So kung Lord, you love me so much. So I cry. Because they love me, they give insurance, but katong insurance, dugay na insurance, but wala yung magamit baka I don't want to be in the hospital. So, I spend money in the hospital, that's why I don't want to spend it more. So, for me, my advice is not to cheat anymore. So, that's all.
Thank you. So So her story is actually, we know it's very inspiring, it's very touching, but it's also a very common story among low carbers. I think you represent a lot of many low carbers. So started with skepticism, but eventually tried because you don't want to be dependent on medicine. And then you tried it yourself. You developed the symptoms of initially doing low carb the not so right way. That's why you have electrolyte imbalance, causing you dizziness, causing you palpitations, causing you headache, so all of those. And now we know that can be easily addressed with electrolytes. And then after, you saw the benefits with lab results. So those are real proof. And then eventually, you became an advocate yourself, a strong believer of low carb. And then after a while, you think you're invincible. You think you can go back to eating high carb, thinking that you're already so successful, you're not afraid anymore. But things like that happen. You are very lucky to have been given another chance. And yes, your hair loss, too much weight loss, muscle loss, those are also experienced by many. And because I think I should partly be to blame, because I was strongly advocating fasting before and just low carb in general, that I forgot that especially our elderlies lose weight too much, too fast, as compared to the young ones. And that is when we reframed, focus more on proteins, and that's also something that we really promote on book 2, and also incorporation of exercise. So our coaches here who are showing us their daily workout and the advocates of resistance training, we are very thankful to them that they are all guiding us in doing it the right way. And I can see you're really glowing. And that's also something that I saw with my mom. First year, she was so thin. She looks even older. But now, as time goes by, I think you can see, right? The age reversal, it doesn't come overnight. It's not just 1 month, 2 months, but sometimes it might take 1 year or 2 years before your skin tightens up. Autophagy really works, but we have to take time. We have to be patient. And we have to remind ourselves that we have to be patient because you've been on high carb and not really so healthy diet for the last 90% of your life maybe. It's only the last 10%, if it's just 10% that you've been learning this. So let's be patient with ourselves and let's take time to heal. And thank you again, Ma'am Engeng, for that testimony. So if there's anything more, is there anything more that you who want to share their story? Because if not, we can proceed with our book signing. And if you want, by the time you are here, you can tell something about yourself, just a little. Okay? No more? I would like to take this chance also to thank all of our coaches and our beloved ninangs, all the way from Tagaytay. We have from Cebu. We also have from Iloilo. Hello, Ma'am Susie. Iloilo all the way. Hello, sir. Oh, nakapunta si sir. So, everybody coming from, meron nga from Italy. Nandyan yung from Italy. Hello, ma'am. And of course, my friends. Hello, family. And many of our low-carb advocates. Commander Shi. Hello, Mrs. P. Miss Barbara. And we have the TWG team. Kuya Gibo, Doc Bry. Thank you so much. So, we'll begin our book signing if there's no more questions. Okay? And while there's no question, we can also volume up on our music. And let's make it as a working fellowship time and eating time. Those who are not yet in line for book signing, we are very thankful to our partners who are here and who is going to give you all treats, all low-carb treats. So thank you so much. So we have the low-carb grazing table from Perfect Match. Keto Mojo also sent some. And of course, if you want to take home some, I think this is a good opportunity to save up for your pantry on days, especially special days that you have celebrations I think you can get from those. And thank you also to Naturals and those who are not here, Lorene and City Oil, Cafe Viva, low carb coffee, Theobroma, and Shapes Keto Cakes, and Cocina ni Gracia. You can see there that everything has low carb counterpart now. So thank you. Hello.
So pretty look.
Thank you. I'll sign. What's your name?
Vanji. Vanji.
J. Thank you. And before we end, yung sinasabi kong surprise kanina. So, okay. So, our surprise is starting today until end of March. Lahat ng masterclass is 50% off. And then, lahat ng masterclass enrollment in Facebook will have free ebook copy ng books. Para lahat, walang excuse. Okay? So, the ebooks will be for free. Wala nang bayad yon. Okay? Wala nang bayad. It's gonna be for free starting today. Bumili ka? Maraming salamat, Ninang. So, sa mga bumili, okay. Enroll at least one, and give them for free then. Thank you! Salamat! Bye-bye!